Right, man. Kevin Stefanski knows it is over. This was his last game as the Cleveland Browns head coach. We got to get to what he had to say. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. Let's get to what Kevin Stefanski had to say, as he knows it is a wrap. About time.
What do you think across the 50 size of the
Well, I would first start with Grant Delpit making a great play on the 2-point to make it a win. I mean, otherwise you're going for a tie game. So I told Grant when he came off the field, I said, dude, that play, you just won the game because we're about to kick a field goal. And then felt the conditions, as you know, were good for both teams in the kicking game. So felt once we got around that 35, we were in range for Andre.
What about Andre? 248 or 218?
Yeah, that wasn't by design.
Just the way this season is.
Yeah, incredible. Like I told you, can't write a better script, not even you, Tony. And just proud of him for game one against that same team to then bounce back and be so good for this football team. And I honestly do not believe anybody on that sideline had any doubt in their mind that ball was going through the uprights. That's just who the kid is.
What is it? How important is that moment for Shedeur? It wasn't the easiest game for him.
Yeah, I told him at halftime. I said that's why it's a 60-minute football game. We get to play 30 more minutes, and we were not perfect on offense by any stretch of the imagination, but came through when we had to come through. Needed to go on a drive there to get in field goal range, made some plays. Again, just a bunch of fighters on that team.
Kevin, with just hearing you celebrate with your team in the locker room, seeing you, with the Miles celebration all over you, just how much do you want to continue on with this football team, and do you think that your job can be saved in these kind of
Respectfully, this game's not about me. I told you guys that. I'm proud of that group for fighting.
Kevin, you talked a lot about blinders and focus on forward and don't worry about it. For this team, with the way this season has gone, with all the outside noise and everything, I mean, it would be easy to get late to not keep fighting. But can you just kind of expand on the makeup of that? Could you tell early on that this team had that type of fight?
Yeah, listen, I know there's there comes a time where you reflect. I'm not there yet. I'm just kind of focused on this one. And I knew all week these guys wanted to get this one. We wanted to even the series versus Cincinnati. We dropped that first one of the season. We weren't happy about that, and we had an opportunity to go out here today and get a win. I'm really proud of guys that stepped up in that game. D'Angelo going in there at corners, Sam Webb going in at corner. With guys going in and out of injury, guys unavailable pregame, before the game, Carson, Harold, Dave. So just having guys step up, I think is a great thing to acknowledge with this football team. That's kind of been the story of the season. Step up. We need you.
Kevin, how fitting was it that first game, Andre missed extra point field goal? It comes down to him at the end with the game.
Yeah, again, very proud of him. Confidence in him never wavered. Felt like it was the right thing to do to keep him where he was. He showed in practice all the time that he was very consistent. So, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, I really had no doubt he would make that.
Did you have a good look of Miles' record set?
I did not have a great look. I didn't. How was it?
I believe they left them 101.
It all depends on how the game's going, and when you're in a game where they have to score touchdowns and they have to be aggressive, that's you give Miles the opportunity to go rush one-on-one.
Kevin, with all respect to your previous answer, do you expect to be the coach of the Browns?
Yeah, and with all respect to that attempt by you, I'm not making the focus about me.
With the Miles sack, we've talked to you so much about how, it means a lot to him, but also to his defensive teammates. I think we obviously saw that and how they embraced him afterwards.
Yeah.
Just, what can you say about what that moment meant to all those guys?
Yeah, that's history. He's the sack king. That's unbelievable. They've been playing this game for a long time, and for him to go get that in the circumstances with the degree of difficulty in which he got it this season is unbelievable. He's the defensive player of the year. You can make him the MVP if I had a vote. And I think the reaction of his teammates is genuine. That's real. These guys care about each other.
Been very vocal about your praise of Jim Schwartz. Since you guys have been working together, he's been saying, like everyone else, he aspires to the top of this profession. What would your endorsement be of him to someone else who is looking at him?
Yeah, I love Jim. I love working with Jim. He and I are cut from the same cloth. He's more than deserving of those type of opportunities, and if that happens, I'd be thrilled for him.
Kevin, you hadn't worked with Jim prior to him, you hired him 3 years ago. What did you learn about him, personally, just over these 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, our office is right next to each other, so we spend a lot of time together. Again, we see the game very similarly. We see a lot of things about this game very similarly. I think I've told you guys before, he reminds me of, one of my former coaches when I was playing, just the way he goes about his business. So, Jimmy and the entire defensive staff, did a great job.
I know the focus was never about Miles' record, but was there a big sense of relief when he finally got it, because it felt like it had been building for a while?
Yes, there was, Scott. About 3 weeks worth.
Kevin, in a losing season, just if it's all kind of done now, what are the things that you kind of feel like you're most proud of?
Yeah, listen, you can, I'm sure you guys will. You can look at all of it and you can analyze it, but we had to finish strong. We had 2 opportunities in these last 2 weeks against division opponents, and we got those wins. That's what I'm proud of.
Kevin, I know you said you don't want to make this about you, but with all the speculation swirling, how do you expect to spend the next 12 hours or so? Will you be meeting with the Haslam's? How are you going to spend the next?
Yeah, I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes celebrating with his team.
Good.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, man. That was Kevin Stefanski on this situation. He knows it's over. It's over, man. Let's see what they was talking about on the ultimate UCSS post game.
Let's talk about Stefanski real quick, guys. We already kind of talked about Miles. Stefanski, all reports indicate that the Browns are leaning towards making a move of changing their head coach, moving on from Kevin Stefanski. We'll find out most likely tomorrow. Albert Breer said that the front office and the ownership group are going to meet on Monday morning and make a decision on Stefanski's future. So hopefully we'll get some sort of news between when they meet and the start of UCSS, so we don't miss at the end of UCSS and have to come back on at 2:00. But G, I'll let you start on there. Earl, you start on this one. Do you believe we have now seen the end of Kevin Stefanski's tenure in Cleveland? Or do you think winning 2 games at the end of the season, winning 5 this year, despite a carousel at quarterback and a lackluster offensive roster, is enough to save his job?
In my opinion, I think it's a wrap. I think it's over with. I think Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns marriage is over. It's a divorce that's about to take place probably by 9 p.m. tonight, somewhere early tomorrow morning. I don't think that what has taken place in the last 2 games has changed any decision, in my opinion, that had been made maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, to be totally honest with you. And quite honestly, man, it's time for some new blood in here. It's time for some fresh thoughts and some fresh ideas. It's unfortunate that this thing kind of went sour and went left the way it did, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, Kevin won 8 games over the last 2 seasons. That's not good enough, right? And I know people might have their own opinion about, if both should have been fired or if the Browns was making a decision allegedly to keep the wrong person over the other. All I know is, in my opinion, I think Jimmy Haslam came into this season giving both of those men a clean slate, right? You can look at the full body of work, and he said, you know what? I'm going to dismiss that. I'm going to squash all of that. What can y'all do for me now? What can y'all do for me in this 2025 season to prove to me that one or both?
He just didn't win enough, man. And that's it, man. This was Kevin Stefanski's last game. Get down in the